Hello and thank you for joining the Monday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Uzubakum. Today on the program, Sultan laments that killings are underreported, says they buried 76 people in one day in Sokoto, and later on the show, ASUU blows hot, gives deadline for fresh strike as union complains that federal government is not picking their calls. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Olabisi Deji Folutile. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. It is no longer a question of whether people die daily in Nigeria, but the concern is how many more will die. The Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Sa'ad Abubakar, is lamenting over the continuous killings, saying many are not reported. While vowing to keep on speaking the truth to power, the Sultan urged security agencies to be up to their game and bring perpetrators to book. Sultan of Sokoto is a number one Muslim in Nigeria, is the leader of the, and if he's talking about Sokoto, and for a long time, the problem in the boundaries of Sokoto, boundary area, it has been underreported. And we talk about these killings, Jide, that every other day, it is when you hear 105, 120 that makes the headline. But people die every day across the country in Nigeria and not reported.
Let's put it this way. People get killed every day. It's different from saying people die. If people die through natural causes, we won't be bothered. Somebody dies at a ripe age. We always pray that our parents, our uncles should die before us, should die at the ripe age. And when that happens, it calls for celebration, you know. But people get killed needlessly. Bandits are running riot. Other people too, terrorists, are running riot. Just today again, they struck in Borno State. I've always said, see, whatever these people do, let us not drop our guards. Sometimes they may not strive for a long time. You deceive yourself that, they are no longer effective, but they are planning something big. When that something big happens, all of us get embarrassed. I've always said, let's not rejoice too early. Let's be focused on the ball. Focus on defeating the enemy. Defeat the enemy in the manner that the Sri Lankan army defeated Tamil Tigers. If anybody tells you that terrorism cannot be defeated, those people don't know history. I still see some people say, oh, America spent so number of years in Afghanistan, Taliban is still standing, Russia couldn't defeat the Taliban. But that's not enough for you to generalize that terrorism cannot be defeated. We know countries where terrorism has been well defeated. Not just defeated, defeated to the last man. Because that's what happened in Sri Lanka. You will never hear again that Tamil Tigers raised their heads in Sri Lanka because they defeated them. It took 25 years, at least 25 years to get the job done, but they were defeated. Obasanjo was even citing Sri Lanka the other day that let us go and read how Sri Lanka did it. The Algerian army, one of the two largest armies in Africa, also did this successfully. It defeated terror. So no one should tell us that, oh, terrorism has never been defeated anywhere. That is a lie from the very deep pit of hell. And it suggests that people are not conversant with history. Don't give us that excuse. We have to defeat the enemy. The enemy now, we are putting them together as bandits and Boko Haram terrorists. We are now, there is now a thin line dividing them. Their idiosyncrasies are literally coming together. So they now constitute the big enemy of Nigeria. Security is the biggest problem of our country at this time, and we have to defeat these enemies of our state. That's what the Sultan is saying. That 78 people, it was not reported. 48 buried, not reported. But one thing I know is, in Sokoto State, because of its closeness to Zamfara, for example, and because it shares border with Niger Republic, terrorists had been coming in to kill our people in local government like Isa, like Rabah, the home local government of the late Sadauna. They've been coming to kill people in Tureta, in Sabombrini, in Tangaza, in Gudu.
All in Sokoto State.
Yes, they've been killing people. It's not everything that that the media can possibly report. Some of us know some things that we don't talk about, for example. And that's what the respected Sultan is saying, that some of it you don't even read in the newspapers. 88 persons killed in one day in Kebbi State. And I'm telling you, it was not even front page news. So that's the level to which we have sunk. In other places, if 8 people get killed,
there'll be
in the manner in which terrorists and bandits are killing our people, they will declare national. In Chad, the president declared national mourning in Chad when Boko Haram killed their soldiers. How many times do soldiers get killed by Boko Haram in a country? How many times have we declared national mourning? I mean, sometimes we will even claim that the killing didn't happen.
So they'll go to another community, storm the community, kill as much as
and burn people's houses so that they can't come back. Because when you kill people and they still have where to lay their heads, you know you've offered them hope that at least they can still return. But these wicked people make sure that they burn your houses, they burn everything you have, they leave you naked. So by the time they leave and the entire community is burnt, where do you come back to? That's why you have many communities in Borno State that nobody is living in them. For people to be able to live in hundreds of communities in Borno State, you must rebuild the state.
Well, obviously, when you look at it, this is a retired military man. Used to be, a colonel in Nigeria Army, and taking over this position, knowing that, look, that there are some things that the federal government has failed to do, or they've not maximized, pulled their strengths in so many ways. And this one said he's going to keep talking. Like the camp president is always talking to Saad Abubakar II, he's always talking too, speaking truth to power.
Yeah, I think this is not even the first time the Sultan is talking, pardon me. I think in November 2020, he raised a similar point, and at that time, he told us that bandits were going to markets with their AK-47 strapped on them, and that nobody dared arrest them. And that he also said that it's so easy, that he wondered why it was like that. And he did mention that the North was the worst place to live at that time. That was in November 2020. And again, the man is talking again in August 2021. And now it's even painting a more gloomy picture of the situation, which means that the question we should ask ourselves is this: all the talks that people talk about insecurity in Nigeria, has it achieved anything? Why is the situation growing from worst to worst? I think for me, the foundation of the problem needs to be tackled. Because, for example, in Nigeria now, a lot of people think government is very insensitive to the issue of insecurity. In fact, some people think the government is at war with the people. With the rate this thing is happening, and it appears nothing is. I know government is doing something. Our security forces are working. But with the rate the insecurity is spreading, it does appear as if nothing is happening. Yes, to show. For example, now, we know that bandits now go to people's houses to steal them. You know, before they used to attack people on the highway, in their farms and all of that. But it has degenerated to a point that even when you are in your house, you are not safe. And that is why you cannot blame Nigerians if they are thinking that probably the government is overwhelmed with the problem. But as the Sultan also explained, he also suggested that we should probably seek external help if our forces are not good enough or strong enough, you know, to defeat this this problem. And I don't see the reason why the federal government is not interested in probably taking that step. I know the president has a lot of information that guides his actions, but I'm thinking that we should stop talking about the problem. Now, what Nigerians want is the solution to the problem, because this is getting too scary by the day.
Today, when you look at the effort so far, as she said, it's not as if the federal government, it's not as if they've not been attending to this, but a lot of people are looking at the results across the line, that these people, it seems the bandit issue is so overwhelming that the situation, the numerical strength, and what they are carrying around is a new and different security challenge in Nigeria.
Well, I think on the scale, based on the scale of banditry that we are witnessing, you can say it's new. But banditry is not exactly new. This kind of banditry being witnessed in the Northwest had been there even in the 60s. Cattle rustling in the Northwest, I know it's been there. And you know, even during the Jonathan era, people were being killed on market days. There was a day, I think the day Jonathan went to campaign in Katsina State, more than 120 persons were killed by bandits who came to retaliate in that community because of the activities of vigilantes. So it's not that this challenge is new. It had been there, it has been there for so long. But it is now, before our eyes, we are seeing it on a much bigger scale, which means that for so long we took our eyes off the ball. We did not really care about what was going on in those forests. When the governor of Katsina was speaking yesterday with so much passion, like someone worried about the future of his state,
frustrated.
What was in my mind was, what do we do with this extensive forest? Just look at in Zamfara, the areas where you have peace are largely the areas where you don't have forest. You know, you look at Talata Mafara, for example. It is not facing a kind of banditry that we are seeing in other places. Which means we left the forest the way they were. And these guys were simply amassing arms and ammunition in those forests. They were training their men in those forests. Some of them even went outside Nigeria. We've had information now that even these bandits in the Northwest, because there is a level of collaboration between them and Boko Haram now, that some of them actually went all the way to the Northeast to get training in weapons handling and in fighting generally. So, because it's not everyone that you can simply give an AK-47 to fire it. No, it's not. You will need some time to be trained in how to handle it. And they have other categories of weapons, including the GPMG, including rocket-propelled grenades. You still have to train people. So for so long, these things were happening in those forests, and we did not take action. We did not even know, or we knew, but we did not take the right steps. So it now got so bad that they became so big. Now they are recruiting fellow Nigerians, and they are a threat to everyone.
Okay, I have my first caller on the line. Bayo is calling us from Alimosha.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Bayo.
Yeah, Tayo is Tayo. Tayo.
Oh, okay, Tayo. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I just want to contribute to this, your topic. Is there this Sambisa forest we've been talking all year round? Do we have innocent citizens residing in that Sambisa forest? Yes. If there are none, why can't the president give a marching order to pull that Sambisa forest down as OG the Obasanjo did in those days? we just give a marching order, level Sambisa as a whole, and let us have peace in this country. Thank you.
Tayo. If you level Sambisa, you're wasting your time.
There are communities inside Sambisa. Sambisa is 6.5% of the Nigerian landmass. There are communities inside Sambisa, people living in them. So
government spaces that have not felt
because a forest that stretches across 7 states, you would notice that some activities, human activities, are happening there, including farming and other. But there are communities located inside the forest. So all that we need to, you can't level, it's not practicable to level the forest. All that we can do is identify the camps of the terrorists and then take them out, identify their camps. In the northwest too, where we have all kinds of forests, Kuyambana and the rest of them, Rugu stretching across Katsina, Zamfara, right up to Central African Republic. You can't level the whole forest. We just need to identify the camps, go after those camps, destroy their camps, and kill the people. Just as the governor said, he said, if you are staying in that forest, I don't see you as an innocent person. Yes. So if you are staying in those forests where we know these bandits have camped for years, killing our people, then you are a legitimate target. I agree with the governor of Katsina State that if you are staying there, you are a legitimate target. So that is the thing. That you kidnap people, you go and keep them there. We have to go after them. If we deny them access to a place where they can hide, honestly, we are close to winning the war.
What supplies them? Because over time, we've seen these people, they keep expanding. And they'll be killing them all, but they're multiplying.
And yeah, if they are killing them, we need to look at the rate at which they are killing them and at the rate at which they are multiplying. So if you have a problem that...
why are people so ever willing to join groups like that? Yes,
because it's thriving. You see, this Boko Haram and the banditry, why Boko Haram is ideological, banditry is commercial, so to say.
Just collect your money,
yes,
your reward there.
Yeah. So
if you for territories.
So if you are, it's like a business venture, and I learned that the more they are able to kidnap school children, for example, the more respect they command, and the more money they also get from such activity. So it depends on the rate at which we are arresting them or killing them, and the rate at which they are multiplying. I don't think that is equal. I think they are multiplying faster than the way we are attacking problem, and that is definitely going to be a problem, and that is the reason why we probably see more of them now than in spite of whatever activity is going on to control them. But talking about forest, why are we also not taking action about forest in the southwest now, where some of these criminals are hiding? Because the other time the southern governors came together and discussed about the fact that people, yes, that are living in the forest should come to the open, register their business so that they can be well monitored. And that suggestion was, some people kicked against that suggestion, which implies that even after identifying our problem, are we seriously interested in solving the problem?
Okay. We have Mohammed calling us from Kaduna State. Thank you for staying with us, Mohammed.
Yeah, good evening.
Mohammed. Go ahead, please.
Good evening.
Yes, you are live, Mohammed. Go ahead, please.
Okay. How are you today? Wonderful job. Keep doing it for the sake of Nigeria.
Thank you.
I keep watching this program every day, except the day you are not around, so I just don't bother myself because I want to have an articulated position from a very good perspective.
Thanks.
But basically, our problem in this country is lack of planning. Assuming the military wants to clear this bandit today, tomorrow, next year, they will do it. They have the means, they have the equipment, and they have the resources. That is a fact. Example, if the military will have a marching order, say, all the people living around the villages, 10 kilometers from the main road, they should move out. 10 kilometers. Anybody you see outside that 10 kilometers, you consider him as a bandit. Believe you me, the Nigerian military will clear this bandit within 6 months, all over the country. But nobody wants to do this. The moment we mention this, people will begin to attach sentiment.
Yes.
And we don't fight insurgency with sentiment.
Yeah. Well,
We don't fight banditry with sentiment. This country belongs to all of us. If anything happens tomorrow, you and I will be here, the big men will leave. So the military are trying their best under the circumstances they found themselves. Honestly speaking, we don't have, maybe they have friends among them. I believe they are talking heart to heart with them. If they tell you the kind of condition they are and the kind of wonders they are performing in the bushes,
Thank you, Mohammed.
you will appreciate it.
Thank you, Mohammed, for that submission. The willpower.
No, and what even impressed me most about what he said is the way we attach sentiment to everything. Something is wrong with us. When the governor of Ondo State made that decision, that all unregistered people who want to do cattle business in their forest should come and register, the Meetiala, they were present at the meeting and they said they liked what he said. We interviewed them here. We interviewed the leader of the Fulani community. We brought him here. We interviewed him. He said they were happy with what the governor said. Yet people far away from Ondo State who are not victims of bandits operating in Ondo forests, who saw when a whole first-class traditional ruler, a former director at JAMB, was slaughtered in broad daylight. They were the ones who were saying all kinds of things. No, people can stay where they like. They even misinterpreted what the governor said, that the governor said they should be expelled. Whereas he said, come and rest so that we know you. If you're operating here, we will know that, okay, you are operating here. We want to know the people who are inside our forests.
To regulate.
So that If banditry continues, they know the approach. Today, even in that area, right up to Owo and some parts of Ondo North, banditry has reduced because the governor insisted that those forests must be poached. And there were security operations to that effect. So Ondo State now asks anybody who is current, the level of banditry has gone down drastically. Even in the Ora area where they killed Baba Fashoronti's daughter, they poached the forest, and we now know that those places are not as volatile as they used to be. It is a matter of dumping sentiment. This is banditry can consume all of us. People should stop attaching sentiments to everything. That is the point that man made. That makes sense to me, because we just put sentiment in everything. When the emir of Mori made that statement, some people were abusing him. But today, are they not reaping the benefits? They brought, Mietiala brought the criminals, alleged suspected criminals, to him and said, oh, forgive us. We promise you that we will purge our ranks. Now these are the bad eggs. And they handed them over to the police. That is what we should be doing. But to bring sentiment into everything, we will not solve this problem. It won't.
All right, we'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. Please stay with us. See your favorite news and current affairs program, Journalist Hangout, and I see I have Babajide Kolade Titoju and Olabisi Deji Fodutile in-house. And because of the week, as on Sunday, one very unpleasant news came from Kaduna. It's still this Kaduna state that anything now goes on Kaduna. Kaduna is down there when you talk about security. The son of Senator Ibn Ahala. The man used to be in the House of Representatives before he became a senator, and his son, a 36-year-old pilot.
Since yesterday, I've not really been myself, because Senator Nala is a good friend, very good friend, someone that we will talk about how to solve the problems of our nation together. We share ideas together. I am pained that his son could end up tragically in this manner, and at a time when the senator was not in the country. You know, it's unfortunate what's going on in Kaduna. Kaduna, where I did my youth service and I enjoyed every bit of my time there. Kaduna, that I was transferred to Kano, and I refused to move. I remained in Kaduna. I will be going to Kano to welcome back to Kaduna. I refused to give my house to anyone.
You want to maintain your
yes.
apartments.
So it's now the place where people have houses on the outskirts of the town, and they can't live there. People have gigantic houses. They now go and squat with people in the heart of town, because in Chikun local government, which is in the metropolis, people will break into your house and kill you. It's not you can have gates as high as Cocoa House. They will still find a way to come in. They will drill hole into your wall. That was how they got into the Bethel University. They drilled a hole into their wall. You can lock your doors there. They don't bother. They came into the senator's son's house through the roof and tied him like a ram. By the time, yes, tied him thoroughly like a ram. And by the time they left the place, they didn't untie him. They just left him there. So he had been in pains for hours. You can imagine tying someone to the point that the rope had begun to drill hole into his body.
Blood will not be able to flow.
Nowhere. That's enough to kill a man.
Painful death.
Yes. For what? Some people doing their legitimate business. I don't save anymore. And that's why government needs to address this concern. And it's the same thing that the Sultan is saying. I was reading the Amechi, the minister, saying that a time will come when they will come and chase all of them away from Kaduna. That many big people have left their villages and towns. They can't stay there anymore. That everyone has come to Abuja because it's safe. Abuja is the fastest growing city in our country now. Everyone is going to Abuja because it's safe. He said, but a time will come when the poor people will find their courage and go after them right there in Abuja. Nobody prays for his doomsday prophecy to materialize, but we still need to do something.
The reality on ground.
And we just want to appeal to our friend Senator Hala to take heart. God knows best. We can't do anything about it.
Yesterday we spoke with the Zamfara State Governor. He was on the show. Katsina State Governor, Right Honorable Bello Aminu Masari, and when the way he was talking about security, the way he was so passionate about the insecurity in Katsina State. Right now, you have a Kaduna State. I think as this time, the way I see Governor Nasir El-Rufai, I know you will be frustrated. I know that you cannot preside over that kind of lawlessness and you'll be happy.
Let's take it this way. The problem could be worse in certain parts of Northwest, but I think generally speaking, the entire Northwest is affected. Even the Abuja that Amechi thinks is still safe, is not that safe.
No.
Because in Gwagwalada,
all the satellite towns are
in Gwagwalada, a few months ago, one of the chapter chairmen of MBA took a video of the attack of, I think, herdsmen in his house, where he actually fought with them, and it took hours. We saw blood all over the floor, and you know, at the end of the day, he was able to overpower them before he could get before he could get the local security vigilante.
Quite courageous.
Yes, very courageous. So it's not as if every part of Abuja is safe.
No.
Yeah, we've also heard stories of people being kidnapped from their homes, even in that part of the country.
So Damaje, all of those places, Buhari, they are not safe.
They are not safe. So for El-Rufai, I feel for him, but I also expect more from him, though he has limitations too, because he doesn't control he doesn't control the police, he doesn't control the military, but then it's not a funny thing at all.
Okay, I have this caller from Ibadan. Shola from Ibadan.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead, please.
Yes, I'm Olushola Julius from Ibadan, Oyo State Capital.
All right.
BKO, good evening, sir, and the madam over there. Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
I want to say that just the way Babajide has said the other time that we will overcome, we should not say we can, we will overcome this issue of insecurity in our country. But Babajide, do you know that some of the handlers of Mr. President keep giving negative narration to Nigerians concerning this issue? Like the other time, I could remember that Garba Shehu was saying that they handed over a police that doesn't have a charge there and that. But what is so important that we don't need to go into those frivolities. They should come out and tell us the state at which we are on security matter and how they are ready to tackle it headlong. What happened to this boy, 36-year-old boy, is very pathetic. But I want to believe in my spirit that when we put all hands on deck, we will overcome this issue called insecurity. And Nigeria and Nigerians will bounce back again. Thank you, good evening, and God bless you.
Thank you, Shola from Oyo State.
We have no choice as a nation. I am confident that we will defeat terror. I've seen countries that defeated terror. Let people now sit on social media and other places and turn themselves to ignorance peddlers by telling us that no country has ever defeated terror. It's a lie. There are countries that have defeated terror. Let's encourage the armed forces, encourage the army to take decisive steps, fund the armed forces sufficiently, provide them with grade A weapons that will give them an edge over the enemy, because the enemy has access to weapons from the black market, from Libya and Niger and other places. Look at some of the communities where we're having issues. We have border with Niger Republic, and weapons are coming into Nigeria through Niger Republic.
All right.
So we just have to take some concrete steps to solve this problem and not believe that, oh, the problem is above us. No, we can win. I'm confident that we would win.
Moving on now. It is the season of strike in Nigeria as more unions brace up for industrial actions. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, says it is embarking on another round of strike and has given a deadline to that effect. According to ASUU, the imminent strike is inevitable as the federal government failed to implement agreements it signed with the union. ASUU President Professor Emmanuel Osodoku said government has between now and the month end to reach out to the union after refusing to pick his calls. This is funny. Was he calling the labor minister or the education minister BC?
He's calling oh no, I think he's calling the labor minister, because labor minister is actually in charge of the negotiation with the labor union. But why I laughed is because the month ends tomorrow, and that means that we are
so short.
But seriously speaking, why is it that governments always find it difficult to implement agreements it reaches with labor unions?
They are quick to sign agreements.
They are quick to sign and
but
very reluctant to implement. We still have the resident doctor strike on ground.
The enemy is still threatening. The enemy has given the same ultimatum of 21 days to join the resident doctors.
The same pattern. Agreements that are not implemented. Now, I read the Labour Minister's response to ASUU's notification and or notice rather, and Minister Ngige is saying that that a body has already been instructed to test the UTAS that ASUU proposed as against the IPPIS, which is one of the major problems that is causing that elongated the last strike. But you see, we need to ask ourselves how serious we take issues of education or any other issue at all in this country. If we know that this is a strike that paralyzed the university system for a whole academic session.
In the year 2020.
In the year 2020, the year of COVID. Initially, they were taking COVID as an excuse, but at the end of the day, we saw how other nations moved on with or without COVID concerning their education. But we all lost a whole academic year to ASUU strike last year. So if that happened,
and this year it has been threats against threats.
We should have expected, one would have expected that the federal government or the labor minister would take this issue more seriously and not wait till the time that ASUU will be making calls and they will not be picking the calls. I don't think that these people really care about our university education. I'm sorry to say that, because if we do, I expect to see a greater level of commitment and seriousness. But the truth of the matter is that people think when they have enough money to send their own children to go and school abroad, that the children of the poor
don't matter,
or they don't matter. But we have seen from time to time how children of the rich are also being killed unnecessarily, which is very sad. You see, America today, we assign 3 people to take care of the sick, the people that do not have the means to actually contribute much to the economy. That is why most of Nigerians or people that go there, they have the jobs, ready jobs to do, because they take care of these people. Now, why are they doing that? They are doing that because they don't want anybody to constitute any form of nuisance to the general society, until we begin to see that when we fail to do what we are supposed to do, we are actually creating problems for ourselves in general. Then we need to start looking at things from that perspective, because it will be sad if ASUU embarks on another strike now. It's not necessary.
Julia, I feel that sometimes when they give this strike notices, as in when they give this ultimatum, that the federal government should be even proactive enough to meet with these people to try and avert it. Not after the expiration of their deadline, after calling out the strike, we'll now start sitting down with hit them.
And that's why ASUU, this last strike, they merely suspended. They didn't call off. When you call off, you must give sufficient notice. But when you suspend, you don't need to give any notice. You can resume the strike when you like. So, and that's what they did. That's what these guys at these resident doctors, that's what they did. Everyone has learned how to handle Nigerian officials when it comes to labor matters, when it comes to negotiating with them, because they usually don't honor their word. The whole idea of the last strike that terminated in December was to bring government to agree to renegotiate the agreement reached in 2009. Since 2009, a lot of the demands that ASUU made at that time have not been honored. Some of them not even touched at all. For example, and in this case, out of 8 items, only 2 items have been met. And the second one was even partially met. That is the issue of salary shortfalls and the rest. They came up with UTAS to replace IPPIS, because a lot of the civil servants do not think highly of the IPPIS. People's salaries are needlessly slashed, and then the issue is the university system cannot function.
What difference?
Yes, you have to allow for certain. You have to be
lecturers,
flexible. Visiting lecturers, visiting professors from even schools abroad.
Yeah.
We saw, at least during our time, we saw academics who came all the way from the US to do sabbatical here. The IPPIS thing will not allow for such people to be paid. And we have a situation in which Nigerian lecturers, some of them actually have, they are visiting professors in some institutions within our country. The IPPIS thing will not allow such professors to function. So they are saying, look, this is the way it is all over the world. You have visiting professors everywhere. We too have benefited from them. Now, why don't we allow for flexibility to happen? We have an alternative to this. If you are talking about transparency, we have the University Transparency and Accountability System, UTAS. Let us try that. It's been demonstrated to them, but government is reluctant to let it work.
Why do you think so?
Now, I don't know. Even if you take that one off, how about the other 5 items that if not met, is going to be 1 year soon? No, let's even leave the last strike. The last strike. You know,
the one that is during the COVID period.
Yes,
2000.
But it was called off in December. Now,
from January.
Now we are moving close to 1 year since that one was called off. The issues have still not been addressed. What, for example, I also said, why don't we renegotiate the agreement reached in 2009? If we do not negotiate the agreement, then we will go on strike. Government then set up the Mosalin Jibrin Committee to negotiate. Renegotiate that agreement. Mosalin Jibrin start with ASUU, but they refuse to implement. So Mosalin Jibrin has done his work. You merely use that to stave off a strike and get ASUU to go back to work. Now, if you do not implement, that means all of the findings, all of the recommendations by Musa Jibrin amount to nothing. That is, we must treat people with respect. And if you cannot meet, just as the Senate President said, if there are things that these people are asking for that you can't meet, tell them point blank that, look, based on the financial situation that we find ourselves in our country, this is what we can do. This one we can't do. Everybody will know that, okay, this is the thing. But you don't go ahead to sign agreements with people. You sign a memorandum of action with people which outlined all of the demands that they said they wanted. There was no one that you said, no, you cannot do. Then, but to implement almost 1 year after, you can't do anything. That means you are provoking them to another strike. My own concern
this is having a kind of negative impact, you know, on that sector, on the university system. Now, if you go to Cotonou here, the number of Nigerian students in the university. If you go to Ghana, if you go to what's the name? Togo, the same thing. Francophone countries, they employ Nigerians, employ your lecturers, employ everybody, and the students will just change of location. Now, we now have private universities, because you can be able to, you can project that 4 years, 24 years from 2016 to 2020, your daughter will graduate and move on to the next thing. But now people are at the mercy of these federal and state government universities. So inconsistent.
You know what I said earlier on is the fact that we are not committed to education, not to now mention higher education. Even the agreement that Babajide mentioned, the 30 billion naira that was released is at present with the Central Bank of Nigeria. And how to disburse that money is the problem. Because whether to use UTAS or IPPIS that the lecturers have been complaining about. So the money is with CBN as we speak.
They even said they should share it with
non-academic staff.
Anyway, it was ASUU
that even fought for the money.
Was that the agreement?
Now,
I have on the line, I have Elvis from Abuja.
Hello?
Yes, Elvis. Thank you for joining us, Elvis.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
You are live, Elvis.
Okay, thank you. Good evening for a job well done. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And the madam over there, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think I want to talk about the first issue you raised, about the kidnap by the bandits.
Go ahead,
I want to say that the Sultan, he has a direct access to the president. If you want to see the president, even this night, you can go there and see him. Nobody can stop him. So you should not lament on the pages of newspaper. You should go to the president and talk to him one-on-one. We need people that can meet the president one-on-one and talk to him directly, not through the press or through any medium. Thank you. This is my concern. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Well, Sultan was speaking at the interreligious committee event, and that was not the only thing that he spoke about. He even spoke about how religious leaders were inciting people and causing their followers to kill people needlessly, you know. And he said, look, when you push your members to kill people, you are going to hell. Don't deceive yourselves. There were many things that he said. He was just speaking at that event, and the media picked some of what they wanted. It's not as if he called a press conference and was speaking. And it's not possible.
If you have to see the president, you can see him.
You can see the president. You can see the president.
You don't know him as a king that is timid.
One is not even sure. One is not even sure that he has not even discussed with the president.
Yes, yes. The truth is, there are various methods by which you can reach the president. It's not every time you want to speak that you have to call the president. It will get to a point that he will even stop picking your calls. They will think, oh, this person is too pestersome, this person is wala, is too much, you know. And we've seen even people who said, look, I wanted to see the president for so long I was blocked. There was a minister, if you remember, who said he could not reach the president for months. One minister who was in the oil sector, you know. So what is people to stop assuming that, oh, once this one wants to speak with the president, the access is guaranteed.
They have unfettered access.
No, it's not. He has not done anything wrong. He has not done anything wrong by saying the things that he said, and I know that the president will address some of those things. Otherwise, some of the things that the president also says to the rest of us, he could say directly to service chiefs. You understand? Some of his plans too, he says his plans publicly. So you can't determine where the president, how somebody gets his message across. This is something that is bothering everyone.
Yes.
If our leaders and everybody kept quiet, Nigerians will still be the ones who are saying no, these people, they are refusing to talk, this and that. And now people are talking. They are saying it should not talk to the press.
Thank you for your
You can please Nigerians.
Thank you.
It's nice having you. And Vicky, the beginning of a new week.
Yes.
We hope that before Sunday, we get our package ready, and by Sunday we'll do it the way we did it yesterday. And that's our offering today. Don't forget to join us every Sunday, 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubakum. Bye for now and see you tomorrow.